nilang maipasa ang virus sa iba. Kung ikaw ay nasa mga lugar kung saan kumakalat ang COVID-19 o kaya may close contact sa mga taong kumpirmadong may COVID-19 o sa mga nag-aalaga sa kanila, ipagbigay alam ito sa health worker sa inyong barangay. COVID-19, kayang-kaya nating tapusin.
Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/radyokatipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
catch us on
New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there.
Baka naman pwede.
Baka naman pwede?
Baka naman pwede. Mga isyung napapanahon ating pag-usapan. Baka naman pwede. Gamit ang mga pananaw mula sa iba't ibang kalinangan.
Baka naman pwede.
Mula sa Institute of Philippine Culture, kami inyong samahan, tayo'y maghuntahan. Dito lang sa Baka Naman Pwede. Tuwing Huwebes, alas 3 ng hapon, dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Good morning, Ateneo! Start your day right with your morning wake-up call. Good morning, Ateneo! Catch the latest news and stories around the campus. Good morning, Ateneo! Your daily dose of radio chikahan, tawanan, kantahan, and kwentuhan. Every morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Tuesdays to Fridays. Good morning, Ateneo! Your mornings will never be the same again.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, dunong at tulog. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan.
Join Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as he delivers to us the preachings of the Sunday's Gospel that's awe-inspiring, yet easy to understand and appreciate. Let us all listen to the Word of God here on The Word Exposed on Air, only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields as we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan, ang socio-political apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan, the voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there. Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's your midweek gang who's always ready to hang, coming at you live through Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM via Zoom. I'm Max.
And I'm Austin, and this is New Wave.
Now, today is a very special day because we are having Miss Universe 2020 coming here in a bit. And today also marks the beginning of our podcast stream. So from today onwards, you'll be able to stream our episodes via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. All of the links will be up on Radio Katipunan's Facebook page right after. So I'm very excited for that.
Ooh, I am too, guys. Be sure to check that out. Sounds really exciting.
Exactly. But without further ado, let's get to today's local find. So today we're doing things very differently. Our local find is a thesis project called Merch, the go-to selling platform for creators. Now, it's the first Filipino-focused and creator-focused marketplace for all things merchandise. And here to talk about it today are members of the group behind it. So joining us today are Polly Baterna, my good pal, and Arvin Santos. So show yourselves, you guys. Hi.
Hey. Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you guys?
We're all good this fine Wednesday, midweek, midterms.
Yeah, still doing well
Sounds so
despite
nice.
the pandemic, despite the midterm season and all.
Well, you got this. So before you introduce your product, I think we have a video from you guys. So James, whenever you're ready, please play the merch video. cute. I love your branding. The little bag is so cute.
Thank you so much.
All
Yeah,
right.
and I love the video. It's very
Yeah.
nice. Right? It's very clean.
Okay, so where did the idea for merch come from? Like, was it something conceptualized for thesis, or was it an idea that one of you had before that?
Okay, so in our course in IPE, our thesis revolves around creating an actual startup in 2 years. So this is junior year and senior year. And we did go through multiple ideas, but the one that stuck with us is the one that we currently have right now. So the story behind merch is that it started because I personally have a friend who's a content creator on YouTube, and she was able to amass hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I think she has 300K right now.
Wow.
And she was able to get this just in 1 year, like this pandemic. And to commemorate this milestone, she started her own line of merchandise. Though she encountered so many problems going through this, from conceptualizing and even thinking about the merchandise, to designing it, finding the supplier, setting up a store on Shopee, and to like really delivering everything herself. And it's really just so much for a creator who also has so many other things on their plate. And my friend was also a student at the time. So yeah, I guess seeing that there are so many creators up and coming right now, from YouTube to Twitch to artists and musicians, it's really about time that Filipino creators have access to tools and platforms that are really built and designed for them. And actually, all of us in the group, all of us in the merch gang, have personal ties to creators, and we all even pondered on becoming creators ourselves. But I guess this is how we're able to do our part in the growing economy of creators in the country.
Nice. So when you say that the platform is creator focused and Filipino focused, what does this mean exactly? Like, you cater to this specific audience? Who can sell merchandise? Like, what constitutes to a creator?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So creators are, by the very definition, anyone that creates, right? An individual or a group of people that are able to bring something into existence. So these are not just limited to like content creators on YouTube, but these also encompass like video game streamers, musicians, digital artists, and so on and so forth. And anyone that has a story to tell could, in essence, concretize that story and really sell things in the form of merchandise. So we in Merch are the go-to selling platform for creators, the first Filipino-focused, creator-focused marketplace. And it's designed specifically with the creators' needs in mind, especially since it serves as, an additional way to earn for these creators. Given that like selling merchandise is not their main hustle, it's really about creating content in any form that they do. We want to help by doing the heavy lifting of selling merchandise and everything that comes along with it. So the logistics, the inventory management, even conceptualizing and designing merchandise, really in a way that we can best do so. So in our platform, every creator out there who wants to have a store will be able to personalize it in a way that traditional platforms don't. And I guess that's really what we mean by really focusing on creators and focusing on Filipino creators at that.
That sounds amazing. And I really like that concept of really like helping creators really get to their finished product. And because we there's so many creative people out there, but I think they do need the extra help. So it's really nice hearing that your company provides that. But how can creators get access to merch? Like, what's the best way that they can get access to this, to your company?
Well, firstly, they could message like any single one of us. We've been reaching out to a lot of creators and have actually been talking to a lot of creators right now. So currently, we're in our development phase, really because of like the whole thesis thing going on. So if you go to www.merch.shop, you'll be able to see our landing and really be able to sign up for our waitlist. So I guess that's the best way. If for anyone watching this right now, if you want to get in touch with us, sign up on our waitlist and we'll be able to get in touch with you. So yeah, www.merch.shop.
So do you already have like a flow for your platform? Like, can you already kind of tell us how it's going to work or how it's going to look like?
For you guys, we'll give you a little bit of like a sneak
okay.
peek in terms of words, not in terms of visuals, because yeah, but just as Arbs mentioned, just check out merch.shop to see a little bit more about it. And that is merch with a U, not with an E, just like the one up here. So it's merch with a U.shop. So currently, in the platform, you'll be able to apply if you're a creator seller to become one in the merch shop. And the reason why we have to have you apply is just that we make sure that you're the real thing, you're legit. Walang fake para dito. So through that, we're able to really contact these people, get to iron out any of the details, so know what we can do for these creators for the best possible experience. And within the platform, they'll be able to customize their shop to fit their personal brand. So none of that, you know what I mean? Like all the shops that look the same in certain places. No, inside of merch, it'll actually look like what you want yourself to be in terms of your branding, in terms of color picking, even maybe let's say banners and media, and be able to use any of our set themes that may be to your fancy or actually be a very good match. And when you are planning to drop a collection through merch, we'll actually handle it. So for you, it's all about booking a schedule for us to pick up your different kinds of, merchandise, whether it's clothes, whether it's maybe not food, but things like, plushies, hats, anything, we'll pick it up for you and we'll handle the rest. So it comes to that, we can also take care of doing the merch for you. So we could design them and we could produce them ourselves, all for you. So for these creator sellers, it's all hands off for them. And lastly, we know that engagement is key for every content creator and for every creator in general out there. So in our roadmap, we plan to have engagements of all sorts, not just within, but also outside of the platform, for merch to be able to help them connect with their fans, with their audience, to our shop, and so much more.
Wow, so you guys are really going to be a one-stop shop for merch, because that's actually very convenient, because like sometimes people have both a designer and then a merch supplier, but it's really nice to see that you guys are taking the initiative to make it one thing. So that's really cool. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you very much actually for joining us. So please drop your socials, your link all in the comment section on Facebook so people know where to find you and creators can get their merch done through you.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
We'll see. Thank you so much. We'll see you
Yeah,
later.
thank you so much.
Okay. See, so now I see that the comments are very, very lively today.
We have a lot of Rabiya royalists here.
Yes, we do. So it's time. Joining us today is the winner of Miss Universe Philippines 2020 and top 21 finalist in Miss Universe. Without further ado, please welcome Miss Rabiya Mateo. Hi!
Hello everybody, especially to all my support group who are here today. Maraming salamat. And also, I just want to greet everyone. Maayong hapon sa tanan.
Maayong hapon. So, Ate Rabiya, how are you and what have you been up to this quarantine, or at least the past few weeks?
I just relinquished my crown like 2 weeks ago, and in that span of time I've been working really hard in preparation for my next project. And sabi ko nga at the back of my head, mas grabe pa yung workout ko ngayon compared in my preparation for Miss Universe.
Really?
It's gonna be very different, and it's also a challenge for me to reach a different limit every single day.
Yes. Are we allowed to ask you what this project is going to be? Are you allowed to share already?
I'm gonna give you guys a small detail about it.
Okay.
It's gonna be
nice.
action. It's gonna be action. It's a fantaserie, and my role is it's an international agent. So I'm gonna have a lot of fight scenes. That's why I've been training into boxing. I'm trying to lift weights. I'm trying to do everything, because the Rabiya that you know, guys, is a physical therapist. But to be honest, I'm not into exercising at all. So now I really need to build a different character, because that's how you portray that character on the television. So I'm very excited.
Yes, we're excited to see that. And I'm seeing in the comments now, people are very excited to be seeing a different side of you.
Yes. I'm also happy for the privilege, because after Miss Universe, I was asking myself, what's gonna be next for me? Am I gonna go back to my field, teaching physical therapy to the graduates of PT, or should I go to the US and continue my profession there? So there's a lot of options, but also I'm very much grateful for the privilege and for the opportunity to do show business, because not everybody is being offered this blessing, especially during this pandemic. That's why every day, the moment I wake up, there's so much gratitude in my heart to thank God for all the good things that are happening.
Nice.
That's so nice to hear.
Yes, it is.
I was actually wondering that with your transfer into show business, you talked about doing a lot of things, like there's a lot of exercising you have to do, as well as acting classes. So how are these acting classes going? Would you say it's challenging, or what would you say is hard about these, or difficult about these acting classes?
Well, even before Miss Universe, I've been having this acting classes. It's for me to break the barrier, for me not to be stiff on stage, to connect to the audience. And now it's also kind of different, because I've been doing acting in terms of representing my department in declamation contest, but it's far different from this one. And my coach would always tell me that the best acting is no acting at all. So you need to deliver the lines, not using your head. It's not an intellectual task, but by connecting to your co-workers, to your co-actors, you really need to have that passion that every time you deliver something. And maybe it's also the competitiveness inside of me that sometimes I used to be very gigil. Okay, this is my script, this is my line, and I'm gonna memorize it, I'm gonna do this. But my coach would always tell me, just let it go, just let it flow.
Wow, that's actually nice advice. Let it go and let it flow. And I feel that that can be applied to so many things right now. Like, of course, when you hold on to things so tightly, you want things to happen so much, but sometimes they don't happen until you let it go, and you kind of just not even relax a bit, but you kind of just let nature take its course and have faith, right?
And also, just to add to what you have said, Maxine, we used to love having control in everything, just to decrease the anxiety that we have in our head. But actually, sometimes you really need to trust the process. You need to trust yourself. And by doing that, everything will fall into its perfect place. And I've been also listening to podcasts, especially if you have heard about this mindset mentor or mentor mindset. It's a very good platform, because every day I'm learning a lot, and you apply that to your life and you share that to the people that matter to you. So those were some takeaways that I had from my podcast session earlier.
All right. We'll look it up later, because that seems like very good advice, especially right now. Like you said, sometimes to reduce the anxiety, you really want to be in control. But lately, we're filled with uncertainty every day. So we really just want to ease that a bit by getting some semblance of control, but we can't always do that. So, okay, that's really nice to hear. So before we delve into pageants and ask you about Miss Universe, let's first talk about where you came from. So as you mentioned, you studied physical therapy in Iloilo, and you even graduated cum laude. So what led you to choosing physical therapy as your course?
It's actually a funny story, because it was like an impulsive decision for me to take PT. I was about to enroll myself to a public university because there's no tuition fee at all. And I've been so open about my life coming from my humble beginnings. But this institution, Iloilo Doctors College, during that day offered me a full scholarship. So I cannot say no to that blessing. So during when I was filling out the forms, I was asking my mom on the phone, what should I take? So I was telling all the courses, and then I mentioned physical therapy. So she said, okay, that's it. Put the check. That's it. That's your course. So to be honest, I started the field of physical therapy with no knowledge at all. Just like the general public, I thought that it was about masahe, but it's different. It's a well-respected profession that deals with the science of the body. That's why it's also considered to be, I think, one of the top 3 hardest licensure examination here in the Philippines. That's why I was able to love my course, because the more that I study the body, the human body, the more that I realize how good, how amazing our God is. So it's very challenging. I remember we were 74 in our class and we graduated around 22. So
Wow.
It's a survival of the fit.
Yeah.
And you need to put your heart, your it's not also like a battle of brains, but also a battle of dedication and hard work. And that is something that I was able to bring up until I entered the area of beauty pageants.
Nice. Now, before speaking of beauty pageants, before Miss Universe, there was Miss Physical Therapy. You spoke about this briefly in your vlogs, but I'd like to know a little more about Miss Physical Therapy. How was that?
That was my, I think, first school pageant. It was technically Miss Sports Fest. We call it in Iloilo Doctors Miss Hinampang. So that was the first time I wore heels. That was the first time that I trained for the Q&A. But I'm not being arrogant or what, but during that time, I can feel that my strength was the communication skills. But again, it has something to do with God's perfect time. And I joined, I think it was 2 different pageants. It was Miss Hinampang during my first year, and during my last year in college, I was ulit Miss PT, but it was for Miss Iloilo Doctors College. So it wasn't meant for me. I joined 2 pageants. I failed. I wasn't able to bring home the crown to my department. But who would have thought that I was meant to reach for greater dreams, to represent the Philippines in Miss Universe. So I realized that sometimes we tend to rush things, and we think that once we fail for the first time, that's it. Okay, maybe this is not my calling. But it's all about trusting your guts and believing in yourself. And also, preparation is the key. Because when I joined Miss Universe Philippines, I already have the background of speaking in public, which is one of the responsibility in the role as a title holder. And I was able to relate all the struggles that I had in my life. It's like my story, I used that to influence the young minds, to let them know that it's okay if you're struggling now, if you don't have any money now, but there's always good opportunities in life. And you have to focus, and you have to get it. You have to believe and ask the universe, ask God every single day that you want this, not just for yourself, but also for your family, for the people that matters.
I love what you said. It's so inspiring about like where you came from, and that you just never stop trying. And I'm actually really interested more in how you grew up being a native in Iloilo. What was it like growing up in the area?
Well, I had a simple childhood. I would climb up the tree, play mga patintero. I was goose-goosen, and we don't even have a TV inside our home. So I remember this was the series, Pedro Penduko. It was every Sunday. Then I would go to our kapitbahay just to watch that. But those were the moments that mold me to dream big in life. Those were the moments that reminded me to be grateful for everything that I have now, because sometimes we used to oversee all the good things that are happening in our life at the moment because there's struggles. And I realized that, okay, my life now is not perfect, but I came a long way. There's a lot of progress from who I was back then, who I was in Iloilo. And I will never go back to that kind of life in which yung kakainin mo na lang, you're gonna think about it. You know, that you live every day thinking, paano mababayaran yung utang? How am I gonna help my mom? How am I gonna send my brother to school? So, Iloilo saw who Rabiya is and how she dreamed big for herself, for her family. And that motivation pushed me to reach for the universe. It's not a perfect story, but at the end of the day, I would say that it's a beautiful lesson to share to the public.
Yes, and look how far you come. You've actually went to represent Iloilo in the 2020 Miss Universe, so it's really good. But I was wondering if do you think that a lot of these experiences you have really amounted to why you also made it and why you won the crown, like these experiences you had growing up?
Definitely, Austin. Looking back, I realized that there's a lot of struggles. A lot. I mean, I need to be the breadwinner of the family. My gap with my younger brother is just 13 months, but I feel like I'm years away from him. So maybe because of those challenges, it prepared me for something bigger, for something harder. And when I joined Miss Universe Philippines, of course, it's also open to the public that it wasn't all about victory the moment that I won. On that very first day, there's a lot of controversies after another, and then issues, everything. And I think it made me stronger. There would be moments in which I'm gonna feel that, okay, this is my weakest spot. But then I had a lot in life. I've been through a lot. And this is nothing compared to those things, to what I've been experiencing. And instead of being heartbroken, instead of having that victim mentality in which, why is the universe doing this to me? Why am I feeling this? Why are they treating me this way? Instead, I need to be stronger and approach things that, okay, it's okay if other people don't like me, if I have a lot of bashers, that's completely okay. Because life is not about having comfort. You will never grow in comfort. But once you put yourself out there in reality, there's going to be a lot of stones thrown at you. But once you know your core, once you have that gratitude in your heart, you're going to survive each day. Am I saying a lot of things? But
It was very inspiring, actually, and I think that's something a lot of people needed to hear. We have a lot of people in the audience saying like, "Oh, they really needed to hear that today." And then to our audience members, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section, and we'll try to get to them later. What I wanted to say actually is I find it really nice when you say you were doing this, like you were working hard, you were on this journey, not just for yourself, but also for your parents and for your family. Like, I think that's very nice to see that when you're on this path, you're on this road, it's not just about you, but you're also driven by the love you have for the people around you. And that's really nice to see.
Because I saw how my single mom struggled back then, but she would always bombard me with a lot of aspirations in life. And I remember those nights in which we would lie down sa banig namin and we would talk about the house that we want to have, the television that I want to buy for them, that I want to go to a good school. I want to land a job. I'm going to be a doctor. And I don't want to be emotional because people would always see me being emotional when I talk about these things. But I realized that God blessed me to have a strong mother so that I can have that kind of aspiration to channel the strong woman inside of me, the phenomenal person that I am. And I'm grateful that now I can provide their needs. I can be a good daughter and a good sister, and that is how I define success. To be honest, like being able to bring comfort to my family.
I think that's really nice that how you define like why you were given a strong mother to have a really good role model and to not waver in spite of everything that you went through growing up. So I think that's really nice. And I also do wonder if being a native of Iloilo also, would you say, is there something unique about Iloilo that also contributed to how you grew up and how you are the person you are today?
You know what, Austin? In Iloilo, we are called the city of love. because
Oh.
technically, in the Philippine archipelago, we are located at the heart of the Philippines. But I think we are called because of greater reasons. And I remember we had a lot of calamities also, yung Frank, Yolanda, and it wasn't easy, especially with Yolanda. I remember my neighbors would put, we need food sa street na painting just to ask for help. But I also saw how we helped one another, how the privilege was able to share what we have. And even yung mga mahihirap, even those who have nothing in life, those were even the people who are considered to be most generous. Even not in terms of material things, yung bayanihan, I was able to see that. And that's why it inspired me to work really hard and to represent Iloilo. Because they need the recognition. They need that happiness. And
They do.
when I went home after winning Miss Universe Philippines, everybody was celebrating with me. I felt like I was a hero in my hometown. And it's nakakataba ng puso. That's how I felt during those moments. People were waving my name. They were cheering for me. They were screaming my name. And I realized that, okay, all the sacrifices that I've been doing were worth it because of these people. And I am forever thankful to all the Ilonggos out there who prayed for me.
Of course, because prayers are so important. Okay, now the tourism side. What is unique about Iloilo from the tourism perspective? And when people visit, what places should they go to and what food should they try?
Maxine, in Iloilo, we have this tagline that the past is always present because there's a lot of old architectures found in Iloilo City. And not just that, if I'm gonna tour you around, there's also beautiful beaches around the northern area of Iloilo, around the southern border. And probably, if I'm gonna take you guys for lunch, I don't care what's the weather, but I'm gonna let you try bok choy. I don't care if it's hot. But that is my comfort food. That is my love food, bok choy. And you should try. You should. Have you been to Iloilo, guys?
Not yet. I have not yet
Unfortunately,
been.
I haven't either. Yes.
You should. Especially you, Austin.
I know. Yeah, I should. I actually wasn't even aware that Iloilo was called the City of Love. So it's really nice to learn about these things. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're learning a lot today. Now, since we were also talking about beauty pageants a while ago, without taking the rules and technicalities into account, but just from like your personal opinion and experiences, what is the responsibility you have when you're representing your hometown and your country?
Well, honestly, when I joined Miss Universe Philippines, I was the dark horse. So nobody was paying attention to me. I can do things on my own terms, be free for what I think is right. But when I won Miss Universe Philippines, it's a different story, to be honest. All eyes are on you, not just the Filipinos, but also the international pageant fans, because Philippines is a powerhouse when it comes to Miss Universe. And during that time, to be honest, there was a moment in which I was so scared to do mistakes. I was so scared that I am not going to be worthy of being called Miss Philippines. So in everything that I do, I feel like, okay, I need to ask somebody, is this okay? Is that okay? So I wasn't able to express who I truly am during the first few months, because there's this anxiety that I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to be put a bad stain to the organization's reputation. But now I'm very happy to see my successors, the new Miss Universe Philippines, the court, that they've been enjoying their life. And I also told that to Beatrice, that don't do the same mistakes that I did. You need to live this journey based on your own terms. And sometimes you just have to forget about the world, because this is your journey. If you're happy with it, then go for it. regardless of the voice of other people telling you that this is not right, you're not gonna be living the standard of the former Miss Universe. That's completely okay because you are Beatrice and you are not Pia, you are not Catriona, and people are gonna love you once you show your genuine self. So those were my few advices that I was able to give Bea after winning.
That's nice, and I like how you're saying about you should always express yourself and not really care about how people perceive you. But I see that it's also a bit hard for a lot of people to simply just let go of things like that. So how do you get past this anxiety and just express yourself? And what advice can you give to those who struggle with that?
This question is actually from the audience from RG Pinuela.
Hi, RG.
Oh, you have the same.
You know what?
thoughts.
It was hard for me to learn it that way. But I was able to relate to beauty queens like MJ Lastimosa, who is a very good friend of mine, who also have been through a lot being Miss Philippines and representing our country in Miss Universe. And she would always tell me that sometimes you just have to breathe, and you may be a public property, but you still owe yourself happiness. And it doesn't mean that if there's a lot of opinions against you that you are a bad person. Sometimes what people see is just the superficial, what they see in social media. And they would take it regardless of what's the reality, and they would just give their opinions and don't take it too personally. I think that is something that is a big step that I was able to do, not to take things personally. If I read something, if somebody would comment on my social media, this and that, I used to be hurt back then. But now, okay, I know myself better. You cannot invalidate all the things that I've been through, all the trainings, everything that I put my body into, and just say that, okay, I'm not good enough. Because I know in my heart that I am. So those were the big steps that I was able to take. And I'm forever thankful for all the beauty queens who guided me, even after Miss Universe.
And now you're guiding the future generations. So at the center of your being Miss Universe, education was your advocacy, and it was something that was very important to you. So why education? And then to lighten things up after, for us students, what are some study tips that you swear by?
Okay. So first, let me give you guys a background. Of course, I have nothing in my life. And when I graduated cum laude in physical therapy, my goal was to find for a job that pays really well. I will be honest, like I was being practical during that time. I cannot stay in a hospital as a volunteer for 6 months because I need to provide something for my family. So what I did, I left Iloilo. I went here in Manila and I teach in a review center. But ever since, I really love sharing the knowledge to my students. I really love the idea of me, that God giving me the wisdom and me imparting all the good things in life to them and being part of their success. So I realized how education can be transformative. And teaching in a review center for 2 years taught me a lot. That sometimes the students need not just somebody who would teach them what is written in the book or what are essential for their course, but they need somebody who will listen to them, who would like teach them their moral and uplift their spirit. Because it's very hard to find that kind of connection. And the good thing with me, I started really young. So I was able to connect to them. And probably some of the tips that I wanted to share to you guys is that repetition leads to engram formation. So you really need to use your head. I'm going to insert some medical terms like the neuroplasticity. You have your brain, you need to use it and improve it. So what I do, these were the strategies that I've been doing ever since I was in college. I try to to repeat everything. Like, for example, if I'm gonna study something, I'm not gonna study it for the first time. Like, it takes, to be honest, four repetitions before I take the examination, 4 to 5, so that I will develop it as a reflex. So even though my brain is not thinking, if you ask me something, I can answer you right away. So even though I'm in the CR taking a bath, I still try to imagine those things. And when you say engram formation, for our audience who are not aware, it's like a folder in your head. Okay, now I'm going to study anatomy. So all this information will be uploaded in this folder. So every time you need it, you need to like use your imagination. So that's how I am as a student. And that is something that I share to my pupils, to my students as well. So another, I'm giving you a lot of.
That's all right. You know, it's our midterms week, so perfect.
We need it.
We need the tips.
Yes. Another advice probably is to know what type of learner you are. You cannot compare your study habits to your classmate or to anybody else. You really need to know yourself. Some are considered to be nocturnal, which works best when they study at night. Some are morning people like me, who would wake up 4 a.m. up until I go to school. I would review my materials. And also, again, what type of learner you are? Are you visual? Do you learn by just looking at graphs, at photos? Do you have photographic memory? You need to use that to your advantage. Are you more of auditory? So what you do is that once you study, you read those materials out loud because it helps you. Or are you kinesthetic? If you're a physical therapist or sports students, you can use your movements to try to imagine how things work. So it's all about trying to be creative in your style and owning it. And do not compare your study habits to your classmates, because I used to, and I messed up because I saw my classmates, they've been drinking coffee and they've been studying late at night. So I tried to do that and it doesn't work. So
I'm one of those classmates, the nighttime will need coffee classmates. So what about
I think I'm more like you.
The morning type.
I'm the morning type, but I sleep really early also. Yeah.
But that's okay. It's again the quality of how you learn. So you know your body, you create your own personal style in studying.
Now for teachers, especially like right now online, even our teachers have expressed to us students that they're having a difficult time engaging because it's so different, because now students can mute and off cam. They can't just sit in the classroom. So what advice would you have for people who are teaching now, especially because the setup is online?
This is a hack that I also did. It is try to connect to your students on a personal level, but also with respect as well. Try to share your experience, because these students, they love storytelling. They love hearing beautiful stories. So don't be afraid to open yourself to make them realize that you're also a person. You are there. You are willing to listen to them, and you are there not just to teach them, but also to help them. So I guess once you build that connection, they will return that respect to you, and they would acknowledge all the efforts that you've been doing. And also, I just want to make this call to all the students to pay attention, because our teachers are just doing their not just their jobs because that's their responsibility, but more of they are doing this because they wanted to help you guys. And if you guys have no motivation, can you imagine a teacher trying to adjust to a different platform? So it's also hard for them. So I know there's also a lot of issues about online cheating, stuff like that, but once you cheat, you are just cheating on yourself. You're not learning anything, and you're just wasting money, you're wasting effort, you are wasting your time. So you are enrolled to an institution that your parents do trust, so it is your responsibility to be a good student. I'm knocking on your doors. You guys listen to me, because once you're out there in the real life and all you do is cheat, you're not gonna survive. So it's not all about this. It's all about your character, your attitude, where you stand, especially in moments
Right.
like this. So just reflect, be motivated, and put your heart into your studies.
Nice. Now, on the lighter side of studying,
Was that
I have
heavy?
It's all right. It's all right. I have a question here from one of our team members in Radio Katipunan, Tep Nazario. He said, "What was your favorite study snack when you are a student? When you were a student, was it noodles?" He added that.
To be honest, stay away from noodles, guys, because
Oh, no.
those are carbohydrates. And once you're full, it makes you feel sleepy. So stay away from carbs.
Oh no.
So what I usually do is that I have small, but of course, dahil mahirap lang kami, I can only afford chocolate, stickle, because it's glucose and it fuels your brain. So I try to like 1 or 2 pieces of chocolate every after 1 hour of studying. So it's just not because I wanna fill my stomach, but more of I wanna fill my brain. I want to give the glucose that it needs, the energy that it needs to keep me studying throughout the night.
Oh,
When you
so are you
said
saying that
chocolate-
you
oh.
should have chocolate as
You
our
should,
snack?
but not in excessive amount.
Of course.
Oh man, so close.
Bite or two, it won't hurt you.
When you said chocolate, actually, I got a bit sentimental because when we were back on campus, we had chocolate everywhere. Like you could just buy chocolate. So that used to be something I'd bring with me before class and I would take before taking notes.
I miss school too. It's been a while.
Yeah, actually, I was actually a senior, so I spent my entire last year not even being in school. So yeah, it was a bad way to end your last year in college. Yeah, but to get back to things, to go back to you and things that happened during Miss Universe. I remember when you won Best in Talent, you said, "Talo ni hard work si pure talent," and I was just curious about that quote you had.
Yes, I had that quote because you know what? I'm not a dancer at all. So this happened during Miss Iloilo. So when they told us that there's gonna be a talent portion, I was thinking probably I'm gonna do acting because my favorite line is "Nay, may pansit ako, Nay." And everybody was laughing because people are saying, na, "Oh my God, that's so Miss Gay." So I need to think something different. So what I tried is Tahitian dancing. I have zero background. I'm not a dancer, but my heart is there. I really want to win Best in Talent. And nobody believed me but myself and my coach. So every day, every afternoon, I would train. I would spend like 4 hours giling, even though my body hurts. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm not doing the steps really well. But somebody believed in me. It was just one person and magic happened. So I realized another takeaway from what happened was talo talaga ni hard work si talent because there are these people who have talent but they don't do anything about it. At may mga tao naman nakagaya ko who doesn't have talent but who wants to work hard, who wants to do something, to change something. So that's the beauty of dedication and working really hard.
Yes, that's true. I think something like we always actually it's something that I've also learned recently, like seeing my friends and like seeing a lot of our batchmates grow up. You'd see that there are those who are smarter, but because they're lazy, they aren't getting ahead compared to how we'd think they would be. And yeah, I really agree with that.
So moving on from that, let's get into preparation, like how it was to prepare for Miss Universe. Can you tell us what training was like and what were the things that you did personally to prepare?
Well, during my training moments, I feel like I was a student who would wake up 8 a.m. and I have a lot of things to do. like I would do pasarela training for hours for for I think 4 hours a day. And then after that, I would practice with my Q&A, which is my favorite part. Because in Q&A, you just don't talk, but you also listen to your coach. You also learn something. And I love learning. I love the fact that we talk about not just politics, but also different aspects of life. And I feel during that moment that it's building me to be a beauty queen who can share something, who can also impart something, not just for me to just answer the Q&A, the question well, but also it's preparing me for life. So other trainings would be actually during the time I really hate my gym session to be honest, because I'm really having a hard time lifting weights. I feel like that was my task to do. It feels like a task rather than a recreational moment for me. So you really need to change your mindset. So I was having a hard time, burning those fats, building the abs, the muscles, the cut. And the good thing with me is that I need to gain weight. So instead of not eating at all, I've been into buffets. I've been drinking a lot of chocolate milk just to reach the target weight. Because I'm kind of petite. But now, as you can see, I'm more of a musculado na.
Wow, that's so. I actually like hearing about how you had to go through all this, and you had to put in a lot of work to get to where you are, and you learned a lot of things. So I was wondering, what is a Miss Universe lesson that everyone can learn from?
That at the end of the day, it's all about timing. I've said it earlier, but sometimes you cannot push things if it wasn't meant to be. But I always believe now things are making sense now that sometimes there's gonna be doors that are gonna be closed for you because it's gonna lead you to that perfect one. And that perfect one is gonna give you, the feeling of success, that feeling of joy that I can even define, I can even explain. But at the end of the day, again, I've said it earlier,
Yes.
You really need to trust the process. If it's not meant for you, it doesn't mean that you are a loser in life. It just means that you have to be patient. You have to work even harder. Now that I'm not even competing for Miss Universe, I really need to work even double this time for me to get my dreams.
Yeah.
So just don't give up on yourself. Failure is part of success and it makes you better. It humbles you. And once God would humble you, it's because he is preparing you for something great.
So true. So to our audience members, you heard that. Don't be disheartened. It's a lesson that's leading to the success.
Yes.
So
And I think it's also very tied to Achi reviews, like what she's been saying. It's very don't give
Yeah.
up, try hard, and it's really like perseverance.
yes, exactly. And it's very hopeful. So I remember during the time of the pageants, we heard that you had to do your own makeup for some of the challenges. And like, okay, me and my friends, we love doing makeup. So what's a beauty life hack that helped you during the competitions?
Well, I'm more comfortable doing my own makeup because you know what? My face, it's considered to be a chameleon beauty. And this is something funny because if somebody would do my makeup, I'm gonna look like a different person. So minsan, people would say, oh my God, ano naman pinaturok niya? Ano naman nilagay niya? It's just makeup. And it's really funny. That's why it's better if I do my own makeup na lang. But this is a hack that I've been doing ever since. I have dark under eye. It's deep and dark. So what I do, I haven't seen like a corrector that really do well with my dark under eye. So I use an orange lipstick.
Oh.
So I like solid. I'm gonna put lipstick and then I'm gonna put concealer on top of it, and I'm gonna like blend it around and then put my foundation, and it works. It works. Up
Wow.
until now I do that. What else? also, of course, because we always wear makeup, sometimes we get a lot of zits, a lot of
Yes.
pimple. In Iloilo, we call it ponggod. Do not use a lighter shade of concealer to cover it because it's gonna highlight it more. But rather, choose a foundation that is 1 to 2 shades darker so that it's gonna blend. So it's also something that I learned. And also, this is fun because sometimes if I have pimple, I'm
Yes.
gonna like get an eyeliner and I'm gonna put a ganon so that people would see it as ganon. I used to do that.
Wow.
I'm learning a lot here.
Are you gonna apply that?
I mean, never say never.
Maybe
Or at least
for
have someone
online.
to teach. At least like if people ask me, I'm like, all right, I know what you need to do. Put in an orange. Just give us step by step.
All of a sudden, you can give a makeup tutorial.
I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel now.
Now, speaking of YouTube channels, before we close, we see that your YouTube has a lot of vlogs and other fun videos. But something that stood out to me was the Stories of Hope series, where you interviewed people with inspiring stories. So, how did you get the idea for this, and how do you prepare for doing these episodes?
Actually, I had this concept around December last year. And I told my team that I wanted to interview people who I can see myself, people who had their humble beginnings, people who doesn't have much in life but has this inspiring story to tell other people. And that's when Stories of Hope was born. So I went to Cebu, and I'm very blessed that there's my team there who are willingly to help me for free. Even the videographers, the editors, they really helped me because I really want to do it. And then I met these 2 kids who really struck me because I can see in their eyes the burning passion that they have to help their families. Especially with the second episode, it was Joy, who works as a fast food crew and at the same time as a student. So I saw myself in her because I've been also doing modeling and trying to study. I even remember I took an exam with my curler on. But you really need to earn. You really need to survive every day. That's why with all the blessings that I received, it's not that much. But at least I'm in a position in which God can use my pocket to bless other people, to make their lives better. And I want to continue it. I want to continue the Stories of Hope. And now that I'm gonna go into show business, it's also a blessing to me that, okay, at least now I can have better resources in being a medium of God.
I actually love that. Like how, I mean, even though you won Miss Universe in 2020, you still have this perspective of there's still more that can be done, and like I can still be a medium for change and to do good. So that brings me to ask, what are your future plans and projects moving forward? What are things that we can expect from you?
Actually, I've been communicating to one of the computer shops, like a computer store owner in the US, who is willing to donate laptops here in the Philippines, about 200. But because of the lockdown, it's kind of hard to transport that big amount of wares. So I'm planning to distribute it to different organizations. I'm also working with AHA Learning Center, who works the underprivileged, who supports very deserving students. So I've been in that position also that I don't have much of resources. I don't have a laptop. I don't even have a Wi-Fi when I was still studying. And now that everything is online, I really need to help these Filipino kids who really deserve it well. So I'm also thinking of helping my support group, the Rabiya Mateo, because some of them can't even afford to buy a laptop for themselves. And probably aside from that, I really want to continue once I'm home my baby project, the Feed Me and I Read You program. But because there's no face to face, so the students are just learning from home, I really want to have this project. I have this in mind, in which I'm gonna give them a tumbler, every one of them, in which they can like draw and put that on in front of the tumbler to remind them of what they want to be in the future. So every time they see the tumbler, they get reminded of their dreams. I'm just working on that project. I'm just talking to different organizations who can sponsor me, because I want to really bring that kind of idea in Iloilo, where I came from, and to make their dreams come true.
Yes, and it's a nice idea that it's a tumbler, because dual purpose, they can look at it, remember their dreams, and they can use it.
Yes, it's practical.
Yes, very. Now it's almost 6 o'clock, and we know you have a very tight schedule. So before we thank you properly, we need to thank a few people first. But is there anything you want to say, anything you want to impart on our audience before you go?
To all of our listeners, thank you so much for giving your time to listen to my story, to the things that I want to import to you guys, especially to Rabiya Natics, Rabiya Holics. There's a lot of groups. So everybody, Rabiya Babies, Rabiya Warriors, everybody. Madamo gid nga salamat. And now I'm about to start. In a few days, I'm gonna go in a lock-in taping, and I'm about to start my life as an actress. But you guys are still there. I'm done being a beauty queen, but you still show your support to me, your love to me, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have you guys, especially to all the Ilonggos who are listening now. Kung meron man, thank you so much for believing in me, and for being proud that I am your representative, because that energy, that support, it led me to do greater things. It led me to be better every day. Kaya thank you so much, Max. Thank you, Austin, who is about to celebrate his special day tomorrow. Thank you so much for inviting me in this platform. I really look up to all the Astenistas dati. I can't believe na nandito ako ngayon sa radio station nyo. But again, it's an honor to represent the Philippines. And let us continue to be smart in what we're doing, especially that the election is almost there. It's gonna happen, guys.
Yeah.
Let's be smart. Let's think about what is best, not just for ourselves, but what is best for this country. And when we elect something, we make sure that we do make a research about the credibility of that person, because that is very important. And always decide from the place of love. Always do that. Love for your family, love for the Filipinos, love for our country.
Thank you for that, Rabiya. And before we say goodbye to everyone in the audience, and of course to our guests, please allow us to thank certain people first. So thank you to James for always handling the broadcast, and of course to Sir Justin for always helping us organize.
Thank you once again to our audience for joining us today and for being so lively. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. So please join us for our next episode, Wednesday next week again.
Don't miss out. Follow us on Instagram at newwave.rk to stay updated. Catch the replay on Radio-Katipunan's 87.9 FM Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter Live. All go by at Radio-Katipunan.
Don't forget that we are now streaming via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. But most of all, thank you to our very inspiring guest, Ms. Rabiya Mateo. We learned so much from you today, whether it be about study tips, beauty tips, and of course, remembering to love. I'm sure your message is going to stay with the audience today. So thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing your journey as an actress.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
And again, maayong gabi sa tanan. This is Rabiya. At sinabi ko talaga signing out.
And once again, this has been your midweek gang who's always ready to hang. I'm Austin.
And I'm Max. And this has been New Wave. We'll see you all next time. Happy birthday, Austin.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the